Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks. Foreword by Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. The book you're holding in your hands at this moment contains some of the most powerful teachings available to you on our planet today. I have been profoundly touched and influenced by the messages that Abraham offers here in this book, and through the tapes that Esther and Jerry have been providing over the past 18 years. In fact, I am deeply honored that Abraham has asked me to provide a brief foreword to this book, which I consider to be a publishing milestone. It is unique in all of publishing. You will be fortunate to tap into the thinking of those who are permanently connected to source energy. Moreover, these voices of spirit speak in a language you will understand and be able to instantly translate into action. They offer you no less than a blueprint for understanding and implementing your own destiny. My first thought is that if you are not yet ready to read and apply this great wisdom, then I urge you to simply carry this book with you for a few weeks. Allow the energy that it contains to permeate through any resistance that your body or mind might offer, and let it resonate with that inner place that is formless and boundaryless. This is what is often called your soul, but Abraham would call it your vibrational connection to your source. This is a universe of vibration. As Einstein once observed, nothing happens until something moves. That is, everything vibrates to a particular measurable frequency. Break the solid world down to smaller and tinier components, and you see that what appears to be solid is a dance of particles and empty spaces. Go to the tiniest of these quantum of particles and you discovered that it emanated from a source that vibrates so fast that it defies the world of beginnings and endings. This highest or fastest energy is called source energy. You and everyone and everything originated in this vibration and then moved into the world of things, bodies, minds, and egos. It was in the leaving of the source of energy in our body or minds that we took on our entire world of problems, illnesses, scarcities, and fears. The teachings of Abraham essentially are focused on helping you to return in all respects to that source from which all things originate and all return to as well. This source energy has a look and a feel, enlightening wisdom to you by having the benefit of being 100% connected to that source and never doubting that connection. It's evident in every paragraph of this book. That's why I call this a publishing milestone. You are in direct conscious contact with the cadre of honest, no-nonsense beings who have only your well-being in mind. They will remind you that you came from a source of well-being and that you can either summon that higher vibrational energy to yourself and now allow it to flow unimpeded in every aspect of your life, or you can resist it and by doing so stay disconnected from that which is all providing and all loving. The message here is quite startling and yet also simple. You came from a source of love and well-being. When you are matched up to that energy of peace and love, you then regain the power of your source. That being the power to manifest your desires, to summon well-being, to attract abundance where scarcity previously resided, and to access divine guidance in the form of the right people and the precisely correct circumstances. This is what your source does, and since you emanated from that source, you can and will do the same. I have spent a full day with Abraham in person. I have dined with Esther and Jerry, and I have listened to hundreds of Abraham's recordings. So you can take it from me firsthand. You are about to embark on a life-changing journey offered to you by two of the most authentic and spiritually pure people I have ever encountered. Jerry and Esther Hicks are as much in awe of their role in bringing these teachings to you as I am writing this foreword for Abraham. I encourage you to read these words carefully and apply them instantly. They summarize an observation I have offered for many years now. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. You are about to see and experience a whole new world changing right before your eyes. This is the world created by a source energy that wants you to reconnect to it and live a life of joyful well-being. Thank you, Abraham, for allowing me to say a few words in this precious book. I love you, all of you, Wayne. Preface by Jerry Hicks. Sunlight is beginning to spill across the Malibu coastline as I begin this preface, and the deep indigo tint of the Pacific Ocean at this time of the morning seems to match the depth of pleasure and feeling as I am imagining the value you are about to receive from the revelation within this book. Ask and It Is Given is certainly a book about our asking being answered by all that is, but it's primarily about how whatever we are asking for is being given to us, and it's also the first book to ever, in such clear terminology, give us the simple practical formula for how to ask for and then how to receive whatever we want to be, do, or have. Decades ago, while searching for plausible answers to my never-ending quest to know what it is all about, I discovered the word ineffable. Ineffable coincided with the conclusion I had formed relative to it. I had decided that the closer we get to knowing the non-physical, the fewer words we have for clearly expressing it. And so any state of complete knowing would also therefore be a state of ineffability. In other words, at this point, in our time-space reality, the non-physical cannot be clearly expressed with physical words. Throughout physical history, we have evolved through and into billions of philosophers, religions, opinions, and beliefs. Yet, with the billions upon billions of thinkers thinking, concluding, and passing their beliefs on to the next generations, we have not, at least not in any words we can agree on, found physical words to express the non-physical. Recorded history has retained some form of documentation of but a few of the many beings who have consciously communicated with non-physical intelligence. Some were revered, some were damned by others. Most, however, who have been conscious of personal communication with the non-physical have decided to go and tell no one about their revelations. Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, Joan of Arc, Joseph Smith, to name but a few of those better known to the English-speaking world, were each outspoken recipients of non-physical intelligence, most of whom meet it with quite untimely and horrible physical ends. And so, although each of us is directly receiving some form of non-physical guidance, only a few receive blocks of non-physical thought that are clear enough to be translated into our physical words, and of those fewer still are willing to disclose their experience to others. I remind you of this information as a preface to what you are about to read, for my wife Esther is one of those rare persons who can at will relax her conscious mind enough to allow the reception of non-physical answers to whatever is asked. Somehow Esther receives blocks of thought, and just as a Spanish-English translator would hear a thought projected in Spanish words and then translate it into English words, Esther instantly translates the non-physical thought into its closest physical word equivalent. Please note that since there aren't always physical English words to perfectly express the non-physical, though that Esther receives the sometimes forms new combination of words as well as using standard words in new ways, in order to express new ways of looking at life. And for that reason, we have created a brief glossary at the back of this book in order to clarify our uncommon uses of some common words. In other words, there is common term, uncommon philosophy is translated into English as well-being. It's about the broader, universal, non-physical well-being that flows naturally to all of us unless we do something to pinch it off. Since 1986, Esther and I have traveled to about 50 cities a year presenting workshops, and any of the attendees can discuss or pose questions on whatever subject they want to talk about. No subjects are off limits. People have come by the thousands from different ethnic groups, from different walks of life, from different philosophical backgrounds, all wanting to improve life in some way, either directly for themselves or indirectly by assessing or assisting others. And to those thousands who have asked for more, the answers have been given through Esther Hicks from non physical intelligence. And so, in response to the asking by those like you who want to know more, this philosophy of well being has evolved into the creation of this book. At the heart of these teachings is the most powerful law of the universe, the law of attraction. Over the past decade, we have published much of Abraham's teachings in our quarterly journal, The Science of Deliberate Creation, which has highlighted the newest perspectives gleaned from questions posted by the attendees of our Art of Allowing workshops. As such, this philosophy is continually evolving as more of you bring to our attention your newest questions and perspectives. This book offers you a hands-on course in spiritual practicality. It's a how-to book in the broadcast sense of the term, that is, how to be, do, or have anything that pleases you. This book also teaches you how not to be, do, or have anything that displeases you. Jerry